This week in East Brunswick, Township Water Superintendent Mike Opaleski will answer questions about East Brunswick's water supply. Then we'll take a look at some local youngsters having lunch with a librarian. On the Consumer Spot, Mary Tanascio will give us some tips on things to be aware of when contracting for home repairs. And we'll close with coverage of Monday night's Township Council session. Now let's join Mike Opaleski at Farrington Lake.
Well, here we are again, back on the water supply of East Brunswick. We're standing in back of the Farrington Manor. As you can see, the lake, Farrington Lake, is brim full at this point. I want to talk about a little bit what I received many inquiries in regards to why the lake was low in the area of Farrington Lake, or as you pass over the Riders Lane bridge on the way to Route 1. That lake was down due to some repair work which was being done on one of the lower dams in the area of Route 18. The dam is owned by the city of New Brunswick, and it had to have some repair done to the underside of the dam to ensure its safety for downstream individuals. So that's why the lake was down for approximately a month and a half. If you travel Riders Lane now to Route 1, you'll notice that the lake has risen substantially, and that has been due to the rains that we've been receiving and releasing of water from the upper part of the lake system, mainly through the large dam which is right above Milltown. Also along that same thing in regards to water use, when the lake supply was dropped for the dam repair that was needed, East Brunswick went into a very high water use pattern, which was in July. If you remember, approximately July 17th, there was notice placed in the newspaper, the Sentinel and the Home News, and also on WCTC, about overusing the supply. What happened during that period of time was that there was sufficient water on hand throughout the town, but what was happening, we were getting large demand use in certain areas, and we started to drain our storage tanks. And those storage tanks, as you have seen if you've been following the water reports on the cable channel, those include 3 elevated storage tanks. One is at Fern Road, one at Summerhill Road behind Bamberger's, and the other one on Yates Avenue right across from the mall. What happens is when we overstrip our supply is that we lose those elevated storage tanks. When those tanks are lost, we lose the ability to have pressure in the system, and then there were some areas of town where there was no water pressure within the homes. That's not to say there was not water in the system to fight a fire, but there was insufficient pressure and volume within the system to get the water into the homes. That's when we reinstituted our odd-even system. We are presently on that odd-even rationing system, and we're asking for cooperation of the consuming public to try to manage a resource. And in this resource we're talking about is water. If you remember back a few years when we had the gas situation, we went on an odd-even basis for rationing. It was that there was sufficient gasoline, but not in the quantities that we needed for those heavy draw periods. If you can remember, as I do, standing in line to obtain gas, you could obtain all the gas you want once you got there. It was just getting there and obtaining it. It's the same thing with the water situation with the odd-even. There is available water. It's just having the ability to pump it from one area of the township to another area of the township and maintain the elevated storage system. If we do not maintain that elevated storage with the odd-even system, we're going to lose our fire protection. And when we do lose our fire protection, we put the town and the consuming public in a situation, a safety situation from a fire standpoint. So with the cooperation of the consuming public, we feel the odd-even system is not detrimental in any way, and that there is more than available water with the odd-even system for any use that you may need for filling of swimming pools, washing cars, watering your lawn, or any other water use. The restriction works this way. If your last number of your house number is an even number, such as 32, the 2 is the number we're referring to. It's an even number. You water on even number days. If the last digit of your house number is odd, you would water on the odd number days of the month. So what we're looking for is to water every second day. Now that has been checked out with Rutgers in regards to development of lawns or sod, and they feel that with that water, since there is no time limit to water in a given period of the day, but you can water 24 hours a day on your odd day or even day, you would have sufficient water to establish a new lawn or any other water use that you may need.
Last Thursday afternoon, a group of East Brunswick youngsters had lunch with a librarian on the grass surrounding the municipal pond. Children's librarian Mary Ellen Burdell read stories to and chatted with the group as they ate their lunches and enjoyed the day.
Hello and welcome once again to Consumer Aware. I'm Mary Tenaccio, and today I would like to discuss and give you some information on people that contact you at your home. That time of year is approaching once again when you will find flyers in your mailbox, telephone calls coming in, people using scare tactics, all to offer you services that you can't resist. We do ask you to keep several things in mind. One, if you are considering having any kind of maintenance done in your home, one of the best safeguards is to ask for references, at least 3. If the businessman is not willing to give you references, then don't use him. If he does supply you with references, please take the time to check them out. It is one of the best safeguards we have in the industry. Make sure that you always get everything down in writing. Anything, even the smallest detail that is going to be done in your home or around your home, should be in writing. Don't leave anything to a verbal agreement. Make sure that when you are dealing with someone that is going to do work in the home, to get a starting date and a completion date from them, when the job they will start it and when they will finish it. If you are having maintenance done around the house and you see something that is not going correctly or something that is not being done to your satisfaction, don't let it continue. Stop them. Tell them you are not satisfied, that you want it corrected. Do not let something go till the end of the job. Do not succumb to scare tactics. We have a lot of people in the area that usually come in the fall season and tell you that you have a leaky roof or your roof is going to fall off, or that they would like to check your furnace and if you don't have it cleaned, it'll blow up. Please proceed with caution. Listen to what they have to say and then check further. You can check by calling our office to check on their record. If we do not have a record for them or their place of business, then we would advise you to call someone else in for an estimate and a consultation. There are just 2 things to keep in mind when dealing in areas of this kind. Be cautious and take the time to check. We have seen so many problems after the fact. They are very expensive, they are heartbreaking, and they are frustrating. So if we can help you, and you can help yourself ahead of time, believe me, it's worth the time and effort put into it. Thanks so much for listening today, and I hope to see you all again next week for some more information.
At this week's council meeting, the council adopted a number of ordinances, including one which created an East Brunswick Redevelopment Agency to oversee the planning and development of the Route 18 Business District. Additionally, a bond ordinance was passed to provide funds for the construction of a sewerage system for the town green area of the township. Later in the evening, Mayor Fox made a presentation concerning the discovery of 6 contaminated wells in the Riva Avenue section of town.
To our attention in the past few days that we are experiencing some low-level contamination by volatile organic chemicals in the Riva Avenue section of the township. Let me orient you on this map so that you can get a sense of where we are. This is Dutch Road along here. This is Fresh Ponds Road here. And where they join is where you go up into Milltown. This is to the west of the turnpike and to the northern part of the section. In response to complaints from one of the residents, the health department identified 8 residences in this area that had private wells and had the samples tested. And in 6 of the 8 properties, there were low levels of contamination by benzene, chloroform, ethylbenzene, and toluene, toluene, T-O-L-U-E-N-E. There is no standard by the EPA or other agencies in this area. However, the EPA guideline is that no single volatile organic exceed 50 parts per billion, or no combination should exceed 100 parts per billion. And all of these levels are below those guidelines. And indeed, it's a rather strange pattern because only one of the properties has all 4 of the chemicals present. And the range is from 2 have 1 of the chemicals, and 4 have 1. 1 has 3, and 1 has 4. The predominant finding is chloroform, and that is the one that was found in 3 of those that only have 1. The ethylbenzene, the 4th one was toluene, and I'm trying to count here on the fly. 2. Yeah, okay. 4 had benzene, 3 had chloroform, 2 had ethylbenzene, and 2 had toluene, but not all of them had the combinations or all parts. As a precautionary measure, we have tested the township wells, although this is quite remote from the public water supply, and there are no detectable levels of these substances in the municipal water supply. The other strange thing is that there is not a great deal of contiguity among these lots. That is, these 2 had contamination, this one didn't. These 2 had contamination, this one didn't. The other strange thing about this is that the wells here are quite different levels or depths. This one we don't know what the depth is, but this one is 20 feet, this one is 32 feet. This one we don't know. This one is at 50 feet. This one is at 220 feet. This one is at 50, I believe. 80, I'm sorry, I can't read my writing. And this one is at 45. One would expect some consistency in depth or in the findings of contaminants or whatever.
The township's health and police departments are currently working to determine the source of the contamination, and Mayor Fox said that the township will test the wells of any concerned citizens.